Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of a daily crypto news. And my question of today is if I were to give you $1,000 right now and you could only pick one coin to hold for the next 5 years without being able to sell, which coin would you go for? And also, which coin would you really not go for out of the top 50? Let me know in the comment section down below and let's get on with the video. Ripple wills buy XRP in masses. It's an XRP rally coming up, and you guys know a little bit of my style. I like to go over articles a little bit and then judge them so you can judge them on yourself later if you ever need to, or so you understand exactly what type of news is relevant, what is not, what is most likely true, what is not, and also that some of these guys are trying to fool you into, some stuff. Now, according to data from ledger.exposed, the largest XRP addresses are currently buying XRP and are thus in an accumulation phase. The development could point to soon rising XRP price and the start of an altcoin rally. Now, this is all not really true, but also it is. Well, let me explain that. So, a couple days ago, well, actually yesterday, we briefly noticed a really big chunk increase in the amount of XRP that the higher wallets were holding. And of course, people went completely berserk, and even I was looking at that like, what's going on and why? However, one thing must be understood, and that is that if you check how much exactly the change is in 3 months, it's not really that significant. The only big part about it is that it just happened in a very short amount of time. But still, the amount of gains that it has gotten here is not really that nice, not that big, not that crazy. And it could, hypothetically speaking, be literally just because of one of these dips. Because one of these dips is so ridiculously much money in comparison that could just really, if one big investor decided to pull out some money and spread it over some smaller addresses out of their billionaire wallet, well, you already got it just like that. And thus, it could be just one person moving a ton of money. We don't really know exactly what it is. And that's the point where I'm like, we shouldn't agree with the article fully. We don't know exactly what is going to be brought from all of this. But most articles I read yesterday are telling us that nothing will happen to the price. And as it stands right now, I will reason the same thing, that nothing much is going to be happening and nothing really big is brewing up either. So don't worry too much about it, and also don't let it get to your head. Now, another article, or no, actually a tweet from XRP Hold took a lot of attention. And even though I can't play it for you guys because I'm on the MacBook and I don't know how to play the sound of videos on this thing just quite yet, it's a really interesting one that I recommend all of you guys to watch. Just head over to Twitter. I'm going to retweet it right now. Just like that, boom. Go check it out. It is worth it. It is worth your time. Christine Lagarde speaking at EBLC Northern Light Summit 2020. Quote, digital payments world towards we are marching. And one of the cool things about Christine Lagarde talking is that, first of all, we know it's a really big authority. So if she says something, you already understand from your own, I guess, maybe knowledge about the space, that she has influence, and she cannot just tell anything that she would like. She can only tell things that she's either being told or that are allowed to be explained. And thus, if she ever does a big statement, you will know that it's being thought of. It's not just coming out of the back of her head. She can't do that. She's too much of a central authority to ever just speak freely to media just about this work type of stuff. So if she ever talks about digital payments or anything like that, you better know for sure it's not just her thinking it, it's everybody there agreeing that she can tell this to the world. Because one thing we must never forget is that even though you don't really hear too much about it, maybe about things like Ripple from people like her, one thing you mustn't forget is that those types of deals, those types of partnerships are often not announced until they've been going on and most likely already signed and settled for at least half a year. And how I got that number is, I believe one of the analysis we read like 3 weeks ago or so had it in there. And also, it's kind of logical if you reason it a little bit further. Because what if a bigger central bank, or some other central authority, you guys know what I mean, just a big bank or a big institution, were to hop on, they announce it straight away, and afterwards they notice, well, we're not that compatible with it, or we did this partnership, the price of that entity pumped, and we kind of maybe made a pump and dump happen, or everybody knows, but we haven't tested it yet, or maybe some things will go wrong at the start. Because people know about it now and things go bad, or maybe the network is going to be more busy, or maybe the attention is more split, a lot of congestion, who knows. A lot of things might be happening that we're not really expected for. That's one thing, but also that the general people don't need to know about. Because, first of all, they don't care. And second of all, most of what they do is complain. Even if you got the most stellar partnership, if you got the most amazing partnership in the world going on, it doesn't really matter. People will find a certain point to complain on, and thus it is always better to leave your announcements for when people will really just take it with open arms and be happy with it because you know it's about to be good, rather than you putting it out there because it's amazing and there still being a couple of faults, but what you got is good, and people just really pushing you down the drain. And again, I don't know if they got any big partnerships lined up. I don't know if they got any big connections like that popping in that are going to be taken over soon. But even if they had, I don't think it would be that easy to tell. And I don't even know if they'll ever publicly announce such a partnership. And even all the metrics out there, if it were to be, for example, Current that they were to be working with, or maybe some other specially designed new provider, or what is it called, software, even if it was just specifically designed for them, I don't know if they would ever announce it to us publicly on Twitter just like that. And I don't know if it would even happen within years. Because think about it, again, as I just said, there's more points which you can reason. I have just listed like one or two out of the 50 that you can most likely think of about why it's better to delay things, these types of announcements. I just listed a couple. There's really, trust me, there's 50 at least that you can think of about why it's better. And it might also be that we'll never get to know that type of stuff, even though it's going on in the backlines, even though some of the billionaire investors who most likely know that this is going on, they probably wouldn't tell us. Another one thing is that we know for a fact digital payments are going to be becoming more and more the standard. The cash is fading away, and it will be normal in, let's say, I don't even know, a certain amount of years, but in years, it will be more and more normalized to have everything almost instant, have everything digital, no cash, maybe not even pin cards anymore. Because I mean, Apple Pay came out where you're not even having to use a pin, what is called a debit card anymore. You can just use your phone. That will keep progressing. Maybe in the end you can just use your hand. Who the frick knows? Maybe you could just use your face, which would not be a good thing. But a lot of things don't look good up front and might be more open to theft. But still, if it becomes the standard, it's the way we normally see it. And again, we're talking about the one, no, not even, maybe the 0.001% deciding, and the 99 point, actually the 100% using it. So even if, even if the people using it don't want it, they don't get to decide. Not even a single piece they get to decide. Because once they get to know about it, it's already too late. It's already been implemented. Maybe with a referendum or something like that, they can decide or change it. But in general, a lot of people that advise, they know what people like, they know what people will want, and that's what they base it on. If people don't like it in the end, well, they did their job wrong. That's one thing. But also, it's going to be really, really difficult to change because things are going to get digital. It's just facts. She knows it, we knows it, and the march is on, guys. So yeah, you'll find a lot of these guys in the comment section say, did you say Ripple, or that's definitely a reference to XRP, all that type of stuff. Not yet. All right. Whatever she says, it will not involve XRP just quite yet. Just because, even if it were, as I just said, she won't be able to allow it to tell anything like that. And also, it will most likely be a completely different way in which these announcements would come out. It's just really good that we're seeing a lot of bigger steps towards digital payments and normalizing the cross-border transfers through systems like Ripple. And that might be very beneficial in the shortest amount of time. Japan's first crypto asset fund to allocate 50% to XRP. The Japanese financial services company SBI Group will establish a crypto asset fund that allocates 50% to XRP, 30% to Bitcoin, and 20% to Ethereum. Guys, there are so many mosquitoes here. It is unbelievably annoying. And I keep just like having to rub them off or things like that. At least it feels like I have to keep rubbing them off. Maybe if you've been stung once, it's just you go down the drain, down the rabbit hole. You just can't stop whittling and scratching and stuff. It's really, really annoying. By the way, if you are enjoying these episodes, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. The SBI Group has been one of the most early investors in Ripple and also have been working with them for a very long time. We know all of that. We know almost everything that's been going on for them. But here, Crypto Eddie posted on Twitter, getting through the SBI business presentation material that was just released, something new. Establishing Japan's first crypto asset fund, scheduled to start at the summer of 2020, investment/storage, XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. And again, it can be seen here over on Twitter that it includes the three cryptos in a 5-3-2 ratio, which again is pretty damn big, but we've seen a lot of really positive talks come out from Yoshitaka Kitao, and thus I really, really believe that they have some huge plans too. BG, Brad Garlinghouse, just said on Twitter, Greer sums it up perfectly. The private sector is doing its part. It is incumbent on U.S. policymakers to do theirs. There's an entire industry ready to expand American innovation. We just need to know the rules. The U.S. needs to slow China's roll towards global digital payment domination, by Jamieson Greer, partner at Case Law and former USTR Chief of Staff, says. Wow, guys, wow. So, one thing you must again know is that it's not Ripple who's stagnating the process of Ripple, because I mean, that's logical. It's always regulation, and it's always what these countries want to do and what they can do, and all this bureaucracy where it takes 6 months to file one document, like we're seeing with the SEC. And here, by Bloomberg saying, or Bloomberg Law saying, the U.S. needs to slow China's roll toward global digital payments, it says something about the whole space, by the way. It really says something about the whole space. It says something about the U.S. and their policy. And I find it really interesting to see this type of stuff. 53% of Bitcoin options just expired, marking a historic milestone. I just explained to you guys last couple of days why this whole Bitcoin expiry ordeal was just one big hoax of people to grab some attention and grab a couple of clicks. Because really, $1 billion or whatever, how much money it was, it's not going to make a difference. You know, even though it's a lot that has just expired. It's not going to do much, and we knew it. We saw it before. It's not the first time this has happened. It's just a higher number, but still, even if the half the number doesn't do 0%, does do 0%, nothing at all, then double the amount is not going to do significant amounts either. Maybe unless if, for example, the price moved 1% from it, well, wow, ta-da, it does that every single day. So who cares? In the end, nothing happened, and it was predicted and expected. So not even going to make any words dirty on that. It's just facts. We all knew it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to be this way. And thus, if you expected some big stuff, yeah, too bad for you. Crypto whales are driving these three altcoins higher. Crypto analytics firm Sentiment claims whales are accumulating EVE, LEND, REN, and OXZRX. Bitcoin and Ethereum both lulled during month of June and appear price neutral in the short term. So that's also fun to see a contrast between people saying Bitcoin is really, really bullish, Bitcoin is really, really bearish, Bitcoin is being neutral, and yada, yada, yada. Reason why? Well, we're bullish because we're close to 10K. We're bearish because we're far away from 10K. We're neutral because we stay in this range for a very long while. All three make a lot of sense, and all three are kind of good. And the problem is, I don't think many people will be able to tell you whether or not we will breach 10K or whether or not we'll go down to a point not in this range where we're at right now. because we keep dipping in and out, but what will it stay for the majority of the time? I won't be able to tell you, and I don't think many other people will be able to do that either because, well, guess what? None of us have a crystal ball. It's just facts. And thus, as I've always told you, if somebody claims to be knowing, well, he's going to keep you on the hook because he doesn't. This type of stuff, observations about what coins have done, that's possible. Sentiment here says, a few weeks ago, we published an article on 3 ERC20 coins showing the largest accumulation trend by their top non-exchange holders, aka whales. Their price action since, Lend did plus 130%, Ren did plus 120%, and ZRX did plus 110%. Oh, no, just 10%, sorry. For better or worse, crypto is, and then you can see ELF whales have supported its rising price movement. Lend is a very interesting coin in my opinion. I've been holding that coin since, it feels like inception, it feels like once it started. It's because in one of my phases, I was just buying a frick ton of different crypto, see which ones could maybe, make a good money grab, make some good money just for fun. And that's also why I have one joke with a couple of people in Discord, and I believe 99% of you guys will know it, but it's that I really, really despise the coin Encash. If you want to know the story about it, make sure you check out the Discord and ask me about it. It's a really fun story. But yeah, that's also when I bought into Lend, and I don't think I've ever sold it since, because I was like, well, I got it now, and I just kept it going. However, I would not be able to tell you what the project is for. So those types of deals are always possible, by the way. You can invest in some crypto purely because they look cool or because the name is nice or because you've seen a video of them come by or maybe even read a little piece on their website. You can invest some money into it because, well, a lot of these coins won't go away anytime soon. A lot of these coins have a very good chance to make it in the alt run. And even though 95% will not survive, there's a good chance that the coin that you picked might actually be one of the 5% that do. Why is that? Well, because if you picked it, and again, you also have brains because you're watching these videos, so you must understand quite a lot about this world and quite a lot about crypto. Yeah, you're also able to tell that a lot of these coins, well, they have some sort of purpose or some sort of, a nice thing about them. Otherwise, why would you buy them, right? If somebody just tells you, hey, buy this coin, it's going to go up, I wouldn't trust it because I've seen that too many times and it doesn't work. However, you might want to throw $25 at it. Maybe it's going to go times 100. You just got yourself a big check. So it's possible. It's possible. There's a lot of options surrounding that. Veteran investor predicts doom for crypto, warning Bitcoin's value could plummet to zero. Veteran Jim Rogers predicts imminent doom for crypto that aren't state-backed, citing the Bitcoin prominently, and he has predicted that the government's push to control the electronic currency realm is Bitcoin's Achilles heel. Well, yeah, many people will think and predict, but in the end, nobody knows. Nobody's going to tell me differently. And I'm holding through because that's, I think, the best option. But guys, thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys again in another one. Take care. Have a nice day. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe.